If you own a Tesla, there is a good chance you are charging it wrong, driving it wrong, and bleeding range in your driveway while you sleep. And the worst part? Some of that bad advice came straight from Tesla. Today, I am going to show you 10 ways to get real range back on your battery, starting with the one mistake that is costing you 50 miles every time you get on the highway. Let's get into it. Number 10. You're probably charging to the wrong percentage, and it's not your fault. This is the tip I end up explaining to somebody at least once a week, because if you scroll through Tesla forums and Reddit threads, you'll see the same recycled charging advice repeated everywhere, without ever mentioning that it depends on which battery is actually in your car. There are two main types. If you have a standard range Model 3 or base Model Y, you've got an LFP pack, lithium iron phosphate. Tesla says charge it to 100% for daily driving and hit a full charge at least once a week. These packs are built to take it. They are rated for around 3,000 full cycles, which is roughly double the other chemistry. So if you have been babying your LFP at 80% because some forum post scared you, you are actually hurting your range estimate. The battery management system needs those full charges to stay calibrated. If you have a long range or performance model, that is an NCA or NMC pack, and the rules are different. For years, the advice was never go above 80%. But Tesla's own vice president said in 2024 that newer nickel packs handle 90% daily, with under 5% long-term degradation. So, you have been leaving 10% of your battery on the table for nothing. Bump it up. And while we are on charging myths, a study of over 12,000 Teslas found basically no difference in degradation between cars that supercharged constantly and cars that barely ever used one. Tesla's battery cooling handles it. So if someone tells you supercharging is bad for your battery, they are working off old information. It is fine. Number 9. Regenerative braking is giving you free miles, and you're probably not maximizing it. Here is a number that surprised me when I first saw it. Consumer Reports put a Model S through range testing on their track and got 265 miles with standard region versus 235 miles with low, 13% more range from a setting you probably toggled once and never thought about again. Tesla actually forced everyone onto standard back in 2020 by removing the low option entirely. Owners complained, and they brought it back in 2023. But standard is the right answer for range, and once you learn one pedal driving, you will not want to go back. You just lift off the accelerator earlier and let the motor slow the car down. That kinetic energy goes right back into your pack instead of turning into brake dust. In city driving, I barely touch the brake pedal anymore. It feels weird for about 2 days, and then it feels like the only way to drive. One thing to watch for. If you see the little blue snowflake icon on your Tesla dashboard display, that means the pack is cold and region is limited until it warms up. The same thing happens when the battery is nearly full, because there is nowhere to store the energy. Both are temporary. Preconditioning fixes the cold issue, and we will get to that in a minute. Number 8. Speed. This is the tip nobody wants to hear, so I'll just let the math do the talking. Aerodynamic drag doesn't scale in a straight line with speed, it scales with the square. So when you watch the energy consumption graph on your Tesla screen climb as you push past 65, that's not a gentle slope, it's a steep curve. Going from 65 to 80 isn't a little worse, it's a lot worse. On a Model 3 long range, dropping from 80 down to 65 on a road trip gives you 20 to 30% more range. That's 50 to 80 extra miles, for free, just by being slightly less impatient. One owner tested a constant 45 miles per hour and measured 165 watt-hours per mile, which works out to almost 470 miles of total range. nearly double what you'd get at 80. Obviously, nobody's cruising at 45 on the interstate, but the point is clear. I'll put it this way. If you're on a road trip and the next supercharger is looking tight, dropping your speed from 75 to 65 will do more for you than every other tip on this list combined. On your daily commute where range doesn't matter, go nuts. But when the miles count, your right foot is your best friend. Number 7. The aero wheel covers aren't pretty, but they actually work. Look, I get it. Tesla's aero wheel covers aren't winning any beauty contests. Car and Driver ran a proper controlled test and measured 3.4% better efficiency across all speeds. At 90 miles per hour, it hit 4.5%. That's 10 to 20 real miles per charge on a long-range Model 3 or Model Y, every day for doing nothing. But here's what actually matters more than the covers. If you bought 19-inch sport wheels because they look cool, and yeah, they do look cool, you're paying for it. Tesla's own configurator shows a 4 to 8% range difference between the 18-inch Aeros and the 19-inch Sports. Owners consistently report 15 to 20 fewer miles per charge on the bigger wheels. Heavier rims, lower profile tires, more rolling resistance, worse aero. It all stacks up. Already have the sport wheels? Aftermarket covers from Regenerative run about $200 to $400 and still get you 3 to 5% back. Not as good as factory aeros, but those are free miles on every single charge for the life of the car. Number 6. If you live anywhere it gets cold, scheduled departure is your secret weapon. Cold weather absolutely murders Tesla range. Nothing is wrong with your battery, it's just chemistry. At 32 degrees Fahrenheit, expect 15 to 22% less range. At 0 degrees, you can lose 30 to 50% on older models without heat pumps. That's brutal. Tesla's scheduled departure feature fixes most of this. Set it under controls, then schedule, with your normal leave time. The car figures out when to start warming the cabin and the battery pack before you walk out the door. And here's the important part. When you're plugged in, it pulls that energy from the wall, not from your battery. So you leave with a warm pack, full regen, and a toasty cabin without giving up a single mile. An Auto Trader test measured this at 21% less energy on a preconditioned drive versus a cold start. On a 300-mile pack, that's roughly 60 miles of range from pressing a button the night before. If you live in a cold climate and you're not using this feature, you are absolutely leaving range on the road. If you're finding this helpful, hit subscribe. We put out Tesla tips every week. Number 5, always navigate to the Supercharger. Never just show up. This one drives me crazy because it's so easy and so many people skip it. When you set a Supercharger as your destination in Tesla's navigation, the car starts heating the battery pack to optimal temperature while you drive. The difference between showing up with a warm pack and a cold one is staggering. Real-world test on a Model Y in cold weather. With preconditioning, 10 to 80% took 33 minutes. Without it, the same charge took 42 minutes with nearly half the peak charging speed. That's 9 minutes saved just because the battery was warm when you plugged in. The system needs about 30 to 45 minutes of highway driving to fully warm the pack. Short trips aren't enough, and yes, preconditioning burns about 4% of your battery to heat things up, but you make that back immediately through faster charging. As of early 2025, this now kicks in automatically for all DC fast chargers, not just Tesla Superchargers. But you have to enter the destination in your navigation. If you just drive to a charger and plug in cold, you're wasting your own time. Number 4, use seat heaters instead of cabin heat. It sounds basic and it saves serious range. I know this sounds like the most boring tip ever, But the numbers tell a different story. Tesla's resistive heater on older models pulls 6 to 7 kilowatts. That's a huge chunk of your pack going toward hot air. Car and Driver tested this properly. Model 3 long range at 70 miles per hour, 38 degrees outside. With HVAC completely off, they got 234 miles. Climate set to 72 on auto dropped it to 200 miles. That's 34 miles gone just from running the heater like a normal person. Crank it to max with all seats on high, and they got 173 miles, a 61-mile penalty. Seat heaters use a tiny fraction of that because they warm you directly instead of heating the entire cabin. Tesla's own cold weather guide says use seats and steering wheel first, and keep the cabin temperature as low as you're comfortable with. On a short commute, you will not feel any difference in comfort, but your range readout will look completely different. Number 3. Chill mode won't save your range, but it'll save you from yourself. I'll be honest with you, in controlled tests, chill mode only saves about 0 to 4% energy compared to standard acceleration. The physics are pretty simple. Getting to 60 miles per hour takes the same energy whether you do it in 3 seconds or 12 seconds. But that's not really the point. What chill mode actually does is prevent you from accidentally flooring it at every green light and then braking when you overshoot your speed. That accelerate, brake, accelerate cycle is what kills efficiency, not the acceleration mode itself. Chill mode just forces you into smoother habits. It keeps your driving steady and your energy consumption low. Tesla also recommends chill mode in cold weather because the heat pump can pull more waste heat from the battery pack when the car is not working overtime for peak acceleration. So in winter, chill mode is doing double duty. Number 2, Tesla quietly changed the number on your screen, and you should know about it. A couple of software updates in the last 2 years have messed with owners' heads, and I think Tesla could have handled this way better. A late 2024 update started factoring battery age into range estimates. Sounds reasonable, right? But for older vehicles, this meant the displayed range number dropped overnight. Nothing changed about the actual battery. Tesla just stopped pretending it was brand new. A 2018 Model 3 owner saw their range drop from 292 to 278 miles after a single update. That is a 14-mile drop from math, not chemistry. On the positive side, an early 2025 update finally gave owners a real battery health test. Go to Controls, then Service, then Battery Health. It runs a full cycle over about 24 hours and tells you your pack's actual capacity as a percentage. If you have not done this yet, do it this weekend. It is the first time Tesla has given you an honest answer about your battery without visiting a service center. My advice is simple. Switch your display from miles to percentage. Tap Controls, Display, Energy Display, Percentage. The miles number was always a guess based on EPA ratings that were never realistic. Percentage is a direct measurement of how full your pack actually is. Way less anxiety. And number 1, this is the one that should make you a little angry. In 2023, Reuters reported that Tesla had been programming inflated range estimates into their cars for roughly a decade. The system showed optimistic numbers when you were above 50% charge, then quietly switched to more realistic estimates below 50%. So that moment when your range seems to drop faster in the bottom half, that was not your imagination. It was by design. Independent testing found Tesla models averaged 26% less real range than advertised. South Korea fined them $2.1 million for it. And when owners flooded service centers with complaints, Tesla set up what they internally called a diversion team inside a call center in Las Vegas. At peak, this team was closing 750 cases a week. Their whole job was to call people back, cancel their service appointments, and tell them that EPA estimates are just predictions. In January 2024, new EPA testing rules finally forced Tesla to cut published range numbers by 6 to 9% across the board. The Model S Plaid went from 396 miles down to 359, Nothing changed about the car, the number just got more honest. So if your range seems lower than when you bought it, a real chunk of that drop is Tesla correcting inflated numbers, not your battery dying. Now real quick, if you have been watching this channel, you already know about battery management system recalibration, phantom drain from Sentry mode, and keeping your tires at the right pounds per square inch. Those are still 3 of the easiest range wins out there, and we covered them in detail recently, so check those out in the description. That's it. 10 ways to get real range back without spending a dime at the service center. Subscribe if you want more like this, and I will see you in the next one.